Southern Vangard Radio, this is DJ John Doe, and to the left of me is my man.
Do you know what today is? It's our anniversary. Yeah, anniversary. Boom, boom,
Wow.
Yeah, man. Happy anniversary, homie.
Years, man. Can you believe this
Cappuccino
shit?
Meeks wishing DJ John Doe a happy 5th anniversary of Southern Vanguard Radio.
I forgot. Hold on. Cappuccino Meeks.
My kids was 12 and 14 when we started this shit.
Oh, my God. That's wild. Mine were
bugging off
dude, mine were 9, 3.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait. No, 9. Oh, what's 11 minus 5? 6. 3. And one of them wasn't born yet.
Right.
Yo, that's ill.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And you got adults now.
Yeah, we've been getting it in, man.
You got grandkids now.
Yeah, we've been
You
getting
didn't
it
have
in.
grandkids when we started this thing, did you?
I probably had 1. I got 2 now. Yeah, we've been getting it in, man. Life don't stop, you know what I'm saying? And the podcast don't stop either,
that's
you know
ill.
what I'm saying? So,
all right, so for those that don't know,
homie,
yes,
for
sir,
real,
thank
that's
you,
some
man.
real shit, man.
It
Like
is
when I
some real
sit back
shit.
and think about it, like I would have never thought, first of all, we would be doing a podcast. And
Right.
second of all, I didn't think we'd be doing it for half a fucking decade. You know what I mean?
That's wild, right? I
So
know.
yeah, we on some good shit, man. It's
Word.
only gonna get better, man.
No doubt.
You know how we do it. We
No
the God.
doubt. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
What interview is it? What interview session number is this right now? I gotta look this up. Hold on.
This is man. We knocking on 200 interviews, man.
This it might be 200.
We knocking on 200 interviews.
Hold on. I got a way I can look at this. Hold on 1 second.
5 years in the game, baby, and nobody does it better, man.
All right. So there's been 193 interviews to date. This will be 194. So we're 6 away.
6 away from the 200th interview.
No, after this interview, we'll be 5 away.
5 away.
Yeah.
And,
right.
And we doing episode.
No, we'll be 6 away.
And we doing episode 238. tonight.
238 of the Mix Show.
Hey man, congratulations again, man.
Hey, absolutely.
The numbers say it all, man.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
And you motherfuckers realize we still got our sack on your nose, our foot on your neck, and our dick in your girl jaw. We are the Guard. This is Southern Vanguard Radio.
Yeah, it is.
And I left one out. We got your mammy in the butt, knees behind her head is going down. DJ John Doe, Cappuccino Meeks. We are the Guard. Southern Vanguard Radio. South in your motherfucking mouth, man.
We out. Peace. Oh, no, wait. That sounded like we were wrapping up the show.
Nah, I just want to let it know, man. Just a little disclaimer, man. You know what I'm saying? The views that you just heard do not reflect those of fuck you.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, so real quick, we'll give a little background. If this is the first time you're listening, welcome. This little podcast started 5 years ago, almost to the date. Actually, so today's January 5th. I think it was, what'd I say, Mick? January 4th?
Yeah, January 4th.
January 4th.
Yeah.
I said the first.
Yesterday was the day.
Yesterday was actually 5 years to the day.
And we kicked it last night, too.
Yeah, we did kick it last night. That was
Shouts
that
out
was
to P here in the studio with us
DJ
tonight.
Pocket in the studio with us tonight. So yeah, real quick, Meeks and I have been, around the world, in a few different ways with this music shit. And we were just kind of at a crossroads, and we both looked at one another one day. I was like, man, we just got to get back to having fun with this shit. And I was like, man, the most fun I ever had doing this anything with this rap shit was when I did college radio in the mid to late 90s. And man, we just took it back to that. Started doing a mix show. Episode 1 I did by myself because Meeks couldn't make it, and then Meeks heard me talking all kinds of awful, reckless shit on episode 1, so he had to be there for episode 2.
You will not do another episode without me. That's what that boiled down to.
Yeah, and then big shout out to my homie Zoe, who was the first guinea pig for an interview session.
First interview session,
and it's just been on. It's just been on ever since. We've been breaking folks. We've been putting folks on to that new fly shit. We're not stuck in the past, and we kicked this thing off at probably the best time we ever could have, Meeks, because look at where we're at right now. I mean, fucking Griselda's got fucking, deals with Rock Nation, and
Griselda got LeBron James.
Got LeBron James
listening to they shit right now. Like, hey man, it's some real shit happening right now.
It's wild. So,
and LeBron, we know where you heard it first. Southern Vangard Radio, motherfucker. 5 years ago, you had a little bit of hairline left. You know what it is, man. Southern Vangard Radio, man.
Yeah. So when you go back and do your history, there's some brave souls out there that have been going back and actually going back to episode 1. So we salute y'all. We get those little messages every once in a while, the DMs or emails or tweets or whatever. So all the shit talking aside, to all of our supporters and our listeners, everyone that's helping spread the good word, big up and respect and peace to all y'all, because we obviously, if we had five followers on SoundCloud right now, and shit for nothing listens, we wouldn't be here right now doing this shit.
I wouldn't be talking all this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to get somewhere and shut the fuck
exactly.
up.
and real quick, I mean, we say it enough, but big up to Sean Price.
No doubt.
Because that dude really put us in the game. Unfortunately, a couple of months before he passed, we can't leave out how important that interview was to us when we did it.
It was a game changer,
and
for
then
us.
just just the way everything kind of played out.
No doubt. Rest in peace.
All right. That being said, let's get down to business.
Yeah.
If this is the first time you're listening, like I said, welcome.
If this is the first time you're listening, it won't be your last.
Exactly. We drop twice a week. Tuesdays is a mix show. Thursdays is an interview session. We're always playing that new fly shit. We're always interviewing someone that you might have heard of, you might not have heard of. Could be an MC or DJ or a photographer or someone in the fashion scene, in the culture, if you will. That we all love and, hold so dear to our hearts. So make sure you tune in twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, any of your podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, SoundCloud, Mixcloud, Stitcher Radio, YouTube, and then we have some affiliates as well, right, Mix, to help us out?
ATLHipHop.com, IamClassicRawRadio.net, Return of the BoomBap, WRBB, X Squad Radio, X Squad affiliates, all those here in Atlanta, and then we venture out to the West Coast with Soul Public Radio.
Whew. All right.
Man.
All right, so let's get down to it. So this gentleman right here, I mean, speaking of the past 5 years, is all over the playlist.
All over it.
Early
too.
All of his comrades are all over the playlist too. Super early. We've interviewed a couple of them. One of them Estee Nack, one of them Al Divino.
Yep.
So without further ado, Lynn, Massachusetts own.
Stand up.
Codenine.
What's up with you?
Hey, what's poppin', fellas?
It's you, man.
Hey, first off,
yeah,
happy 5th anniversary. Got to start it off like that.
Appreciate that, man.
That's a milestone right there.
Yeah.
So shout out to y'all fellas for holding it down for 5 years steady.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate all that music you got to us over the years too, man.
Yeah,
that's a catalyst for doing this show, man. You talking about Nack and all them Lynn cats. Y'all got something popping right now, man. What's the climate up there right now, man?
Shit, it's like physically in the 40s.
Yeah.
The climate is always hot up here, but it is in the 40s.
No doubt.
Physically.
No doubt. But
the climate is always steady in the 100s, though.
That's what's up. And specifically speaking, ST got it popping right now, man. How's that? How that got the city looking right now, man?
I mean, you got to understand the history, and Nack been doing this for probably close to 20 years, as far as we're concerned and what we know.
Yeah.
And he a big brother to a lot of people, you know what I mean? Like, he took me in young, he took Divino in young. Like, I was probably 14 when Nack started fucking with me. He probably about 4 or 5 years older than me.
Wow.
So, he's shown me a lot of shit in life, beyond the rap shit. So, and the way he moves, he's very much, he does a lot in the community. People know him. Like he a mayor out here. So
that's what's up.
Whenever he does something good, there's a lot of people pushing for him. You know what I mean? Like
Word.
if there's anybody hating, we don't even see it because there's so many people rooting for him and pushing for him because he's the perfect representation of what the city really is.
Yeah.
And you know who we are. So we feel comfortable pushing ST as that representation. Like that's Unc. You know what I mean? When he get a little older, he's gonna be comfortable with us calling him Big Unc.
I believe it. I believe it. And when you looked at like that, man, in high regard like that, the haters really don't even matter. So fuck them.
Nah. I don't, and I'm not even saying that in a place where like I even am aware of any. But like if there is any, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just such a like you know what I mean? Here's the thing with ST is he done so much that if anybody ever popped up trying to talk shit, that so many other people would hop on their back that it wouldn't even get to us. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it wouldn't even get that far.
That's what's up.
Motherfuckers are dead that shit. Like, bro, you can't talk shit on the guard. Like that's big, bro. You know? Yeah. And I am kind of speaking biasly because that's, you know, like my brother. But at the same time, I know what his impact is culturally and community wise, so I can vouch for it, you know, firsthand. You know what I'm saying? Being somebody around him, you know, his impact is huge out here. And I think, and I've said this since day one, but it's finally coming to fruition. So it's almost like prophetic shit for me because I already knew what he was capable of in 2003. But to see it actually take place, I'm so fucking proud. And he my big bro. Yeah. He put me on. But, like, I'm so proud to see him finally get that recognition because it's so well-deserved. Motherfucker worked so hard, bro. Exactly. So tirelessly. Like, he's probably put in 150 to 500 hours of just simply mixing my shit.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I've never paid him for none of that. It's just my big brother. So it's like, it's invaluable what he contributes.
That's awesome, man.
So Nine, while we're there, I didn't intend for us to go there immediately, but how did you and ST end up connecting? Like, how'd you kind of come, you know, into the fold with that crew?
Yeah, you know, anytime anyone bring up Brick Bo, I gotta off top be like, he
I appreciate
all
that.
The accolades, you know.
Yeah.
But I ended up meeting Nack through his cousin, which was my homie at the time. You know, he's still the homie. Shout out Marco.
Sure.
But basically, he introduced us because he heard me rapping one day. We was in school. We was young. And he was like, yo, I got to introduce you to my big cousin. And he introduced me to him. And you know, just from then on, he kind of took me under his wing as like a protege. And like, he would even introduce me to motherfuckers on some like, yo, this my protege. And put me onto a lot of shit because like a lot of his people that he introduced me to are like lifelong friends of mine now. You know what I mean? Like, I was young, bro. I was 14. And he was probably 18, 19. So they were older. And they had a lot of influence on me on the way I moved and the way I kind of absorbed shit because they experienced more. So I was able to sit back and kind of take a lot in. But that's how I met Nack. And then Nack introduced me to Perp. And then Perp, you know, I don't think he was sold at first, but after a little bit, you know, Perp was like, let's see what Code can do. And they let me contribute to a couple of the projects they were putting out. And then it just kind of, you know, it wasn't like an official, you know, it wasn't like a Rock Nation joint where they put a chain on you, but it was definitely like, I already had the jewelry, you know what I mean?
Right, no need for that.
Like, you know, you stamp, you know what I
mean? That's dope,
Cole, what's the story behind your name, man?
Honestly, it's funny because there's a lot less than there should be. It's not the coolest story. Like, yo, I had a lot of nicknames and shit. People used to call me different shit. Like, people call me my first name. People call me my last name. People call me some other shit. You know, there was a lot of names I gave myself when I started writing. So I had so many names. And one time I just ended up just saying, yo, I'm going to just run with this. This is like the 9th name I ran with. It's Codenine. On some kind of stupid shit. Like, on some just like, I was super young, but you gotta understand, I was like probably 13, 14. And I was like, fuck, I'm just calling myself that. And I started releasing music online like that, under that moniker. And it was better received than anything else I had ever done. Because I didn't grow up in a household with you know, technology like that. So when I got a hold of some shit where I could record and these were terrible fucking shit, but like I just put it on the internet. And you know, that shit got a little bit more well received. So I was like, I'm gonna just run with this shit.
Okay.
So that's what I ended up doing. It you know, it's not the coolest shit, but that's really what it was. And then later on, you know, I had people who were older than me that were like, nah, it fits because like you complex, you know, you like a code. And I was like, I bet. So other shit kind of ended up, as I grew older, ended up kind of fitting more. But at the time, it was just some dumb shit. Like, I'm pretty sure my first rap name ever, or the first name that I kind of named myself was Right Minded.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Codenine.
Yeah. Oh, they were all worse than that too. Like leading up to that, if we going by 1 to 9, if that was 1, the other 6 were fucking terrible.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Or 7 or whatever. My math might be off.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So Nine, how'd you get into rhyming, man? Like why? You know, why words in the pen?
I mean, it's kind of funny because I remember the first time I ever tried like doing some shit. I was I knew this kid in like kindergarten, no bullshit, and his name was Ronaldo. Shout out fucking Ronaldo, bro.
Word.
And my man could sing like real good, real young. And like his mom was I don't know. I remember her too. Her name was Cookie. Shout out Cookie too.
Word. What up, Cookie?
The funniest shit was like she used to push him so hard. Like, yo, I know producers. I know, like she was talking to us like we knew what the fuck she was talking about. And I remember he could sing, and I couldn't sing a lick. I was so off tone, off beat, but that was my man. Like we was probably like no bullshit 8 years old, 7, 8, and I wrote a song for him to sing. It was called "Oh My Stars." Yo, I still to this day remember that shit. It was called "Oh My Stars." I wrote this shit for him, and he sang it to his mother. Like she was the only one that ever heard this shit. But like she was like, "Oh my god!" Like she was blown away. So that was enough for me to be like, "All right, this is what I need to do." You know, I was already creative.
Damn. Like, in kindergarten?
Yeah, bro. If people don't believe me, but I swear to God, that's really how it was. Like
that's crazy.
I haven't spoke to Ronaldo in years. You know what I'm saying? I actually tapped in with him a couple years ago and was like, bro, you remember me? He was like, hell no. And the funny shit was when I explained who I was and he remembered who I was, he was actually involved in some music shit in Boston. So it was kind of funny. But I haven't tapped in with him, but shout out him.
You need to bring him back and put him on a joint. Yeah, you need to put him on a joint, man. Bring him back. Have him sing on something.
That's a fact. I think he said he don't sing no more. I think that was his point. Like, yo, you remember me for some singing shit? I don't do that no more, cuz. All right.
He's got bad memories.
I don't do that. But shout out him though. Because that was like, that was kind of my first memory of ever trying to like do this shit creatively more than like just listening. And I was young. Like,
damn,
that's
shit was crazy.
Terrible, but it had to start somewhere.
Right.
But then my homeboy, when I was probably like 10, 11, he was really into DMX. And I remember he came to my crib one day and he wanted to write a rhyme, and me and him kind of did like a line by line on some like bullshit. It was stupid. It was fucking retarded. But like, that was kind of another thing because that ended up being the shit I was rapping to myself when I met ST's cousin and he introduced me to ST. So it kind of all lined up together. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It kind of all led into each other.
Gotcha. So do you have other family members that were into music or come from a musical background, or are you just kind of...
I mean, there's people in my family here and there that do music, but nobody like seriously. Like even my father, when he was super young, he was on TV singing once back in like the fucking 60s.
Okay.
But there's really nobody that, because I was the only child in the crib, so I had to learn everything on my own from my peers and like just doing my own research. And so I just fuck with music and just creativity. Like I used to draw and shit, so like it was just anything that was creative I fuck with. Because, like, being an only child, you have to be creative or else you're going to be a bored motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Right.
Word. Yeah, man.
So, for me, it was like you got to learn to do something. And I was already a creative kid. So, I was just like, writing music was just kind of a way that it was going to lead to that regardless. And honestly, it didn't even have to be, like, hip-hop. Like, it could have been anything.
Right.
I just fucked with music itself. And that's really what got me into it. But, obviously... circumstances happen in your life and shit, you tap into certain shit in your surroundings, and then hip hop is what obviously connecting the closest with.
Right.
But there was a time where I would just, I grew up in a household where my mother would play records on the weekend. They had a record player. And she'd clean the crib and she would listen to Lionel Richie, or it would be the Righteous Brothers, or, you know what I mean? It would just be a wide array of...
all over the place.
They didn't have no, you know, there wasn't no like, oh, we fuck with this. It was just everything, bro. Like my mother would really wake up on a Sunday morning, the Lionel Richie shit on Sunday morning, clean it. You know what I mean? I used to wake up to that shit. Like it's a vivid memory of mine, like music wise.
Yeah.
And you know, music, that's why I try to do music that make you feel some shit. Cause like, that's kind of how I connect to music. But artistically is what made me get into it, was like the artistic value of that, being able, you know, expression and just kind of doing something, you know what I mean? Like for a lack of better terms, like just to kind of idle hands, bro. Like you got to do something. So
gotcha.
It was something to do. And, you know, it's definitely something as I got older, my peers were into. So, you know, as I got older, it started, pieces connected way more.
So was it your peers that were kind of pushing you and, you know, like let you know that you had something, or was it meeting Nack and kind of like when did you figure out you had some shit and you were skilled at this?
Well, the funny part is like, yo, Nack took a chance on me because, like, I listened to some of the shit I had back in the day and was like, oof, you thought I had potential, bro? Like, God bless you.
Right.
But you know, I wasn't really, like, at that time, it was funny because when I met his cousin, I wasn't really into it like that. Like, I wrote that shit when I was like 8, and then it was like a nothing. And then so I was like 10, 11, 12, I wrote this little stupid joint with my man. And then I just was rapping it to myself. And he was like, yo, you rap? And I was just like, yeah. And then he was like, oh, let me introduce you to my cousin. So prior to that, I hadn't really ever taken it serious. I'd maybe done some like writing, you know what I mean? Like throughout middle school. Just friends of mine and shit, like us just being influenced by rap, we just try to reconstruct some shit, like write some shit. But it was nothing I was ever like proud enough of to like, you know what I'm saying, really try. But then I remember I got probably when I was like 12, 13, I got a little computer microphone and I tried recording myself and shit. And then I actually bought some equipment right around the time I met Nack. And I'd saved up money and bought like a shitload of equipment, and we were recording at my crib. And we had like, yo, those songs still exist too. That's terrible. They're still online. Fucking horrible. Bro. I'm like, yo, somebody gonna dig them shits up one day, and I'm gonna be, well, fuck it. You know, the progression gotta happen.
Right.
You know, like, oh, man, this shit still exists. All right.
Hey, it might be some blackmail come along with that shit too, man. You might have to get some ransom money together, you know, man.
It should come with the territory, bro. But
that's what's up.
If they got it, they got it. I put it out myself, so I can't be mad at nobody but myself on that.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, yo, real quick, man, you talk about creativity and things like that, being you know, very creative since a young age. Over the past 5 years of us doing this podcast, we come to realize that it's a lot of song titles and album titles that we don't know shit about. Like how, like, just I think the one for last week for me was Guatemala and Guala off the door. You know what I'm saying? It's just like and now that now that I think about it, man, you probably responsible for some wild ass titles. I mean, for example,
so now we've got some of your joints here. Like, I'm gonna fuck this up. This is the most extravagant one from an album or a project title.
Shit.
El Círculo Vicioso.
Yeah.
So
that actually means in Spanish. That means the vicious circle.
Okay. So say it correctly, because my country ass fucked it up. So how would you normally say it?
It's all good, bro. I fuck it up too.
Okay.
That was actually something that I'm not even gonna lie on that. That was some shit where like we recorded the whole album. It was like one night. We recorded that whole shit in one night. Shout out my man A1. That's my homie.
Word.
P-Rock. I call him P-Rock.
Okay.
But we was over there one night and we was just drinking. Like, we had already wrote the album. He had sent me the beats. And that's my bro. Like, I've known him forever. Like, since high school days, before that and all that. Like, we really ran the streets together and all that. And we had never connected on the music tip. Like, we were aware that we both did music, but we were also aware that, like, we did different type of music. And then finally, we was like, yo, fuck it, let's meet in the middle and try to do something. And, like, just do it just, you know, for us. You know what I mean? It's for the culture, but it's for us more than anything.
Okay.
So that's why we connected for that album. And it was funny because we was in the lab one night and we just decided to record the whole shit at Nack's one night drinking. And we had like a bunch of bottles of Privilege and shit, and we just get fucked up recording that album. Woo. And I didn't have a title for it when it was done being recorded. Like we had everything. We even had the intro and all that, and like we didn't have a title. And like I'm looking at Nack like, yo, what you got, bruh? And he had told me that he was working on at the time it was the Manuel Surratt shit. And he was like, yo, I'm using this visual from a movie, and I'm pretty sure the name of the movie he used that visual from for his album cover was the El Circolo Vicioso shit. She was like, yo, it's called this. He's like, I'm calling my shit the Joe Manuel Surratt, but he's like, you know, that's the name of the flick. And I'm like, yo, fuck it, let's run with it. Like, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy because I think I'd already made the cover. And the cover, I had made that shit like a couple months back, and it made sense to the cover and everything. I was like, yo, that it all kind of just fit organically. Yeah. And that's kind of the magic of the mini mansion. Like, you kind of go there with unfinished ideas, and they just kind of resolve themselves. Like, you just leave it up to the aura to just like, all right, boom, I'm just let it happen. Yo, and that's kind of the magic there. You know what I mean?
Yo, you mentioned the artwork. Y'all take a different approach to the artwork too, man.
The art's crazy.
What's the story behind how y'all come up with these different covers and shit?
Man, I mean, for me, I've done a lot of my own covers. I think like 9 Roses was done by the homie Evil Door. Mm-hmm. He's an incredible producer from out here too. And he did the cover on that. And then the cover for the first album I ever dropped, I don't know who did that. Cause that was actually through, damn, I'm gonna forget their name. It's gonna be terrible.
Motif and
Below System.
Below System, yeah, right.
No, yeah. That was actually the first shit I dropped was through Below System. I don't know who did that one. And actually the IX too. I'm not sure what her name is. I know it's a female artist. But she flipped that cover. We actually got that from chilling in the studio one night getting high, and I seen an album cover. I think it's called something Hawk. It's an old cover, like a 1970s like rock cover. Okay. And I seen the cover and I was like, yo, that shit, I want that shit to be IX, because I seen the clock and the way that it was pointing somewhere, and I was like, yo, we need to make the cover but have it point at the IX.
To 9, right, yeah.
And it would just happen to be perfect because we already had the title for IX. We just didn't have a cover. And I was at Cass's crib in Worcester, and it was like, yeah, that shit was just worse. So he had an artist flip it. But everything after that, other than 9 Roses, was me. I made the $1 Million Mink shit. I did the El Circolo Vicioso. I did the Sane No More. I didn't do Outback Garden. I don't know his name either. I suck with this shit, bro. Grubby Paws got him, but that dude is incredible too. He drew that
shit. Shout out to Grubby Paws.
Well, Grubby Paws, man.
yeah.
Another favorite over here in these parts, man.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Grubby's incredible.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, so you really in your creative bag then, huh, Nine? Like with the art and the music and everything. I mean, you're a one man.
I try to be self-sufficient. Yeah. I know Nack talked about that on the shit, but like when you don't want to wait on nobody, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, and it's not even paying somebody shit. Like I've had situations where I paid people and had to wait, and I'm like, I'm not with that, bro. When I'm ready, you know,
you gotta trust. You gotta trust your own shit.
It's
sometimes.
Out of nowhere. We just drop.
Yeah, but at the same time, you gotta trust you first and foremost, man. So if you're a person that has recognized early on that you do have a level of creativity that's unmatched by anybody else out here, you got to tap into that, man.
Yeah,
you got to get behind that, man. You got to believe in yourself.
It was just a matter of getting decent enough at something, understanding like programs and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I made all them covers on my phone on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not even gonna front on nothing. Like,
nah, you talking to some cats that do the same thing, Cole.
and you know, shout out the homies. It wasn't even nothing personal. It was just, you know, people was busy and people were doing people favors, and I was paying for covers. But the problem was it was just motherfuckers was backlogged on shit.
Yeah.
And I had, you know, when I go in the lab and I record 9-10 tracks in one night, I'm trying to drop it.
You ready
know what
to
I mean?
go.
I'm not trying to wait on that. So I got sick of doing that. So I started fucking with the artwork. Like, you know, obviously the first fucking, you know, 50 joints I did was terrible. But I was like, yo, I'm going to just try to get good enough to where it don't even got to be great. Just something where it's aesthetically pleasing to where it like catches your eye. And that was really all I was after. Just something that was good enough it didn't have to be incredible, just something that was good enough where it caught your eye and it was like, yeah, I want to know more about this. And that's really where the $1 Million Mix shit came, because that was probably the first album that I dropped, or the album cover that I had that I was willing to drop.
Yeah. Now you talking to some cats that get down the same way, Cole. The homie John Doe done photoshopped my face over a picture of Mike Vick holding a pit bull. My man DJ.
See, my Photoshop game ain't proper yet.
my man DJ Pocket, he in here tonight with us. He done did album covers for me, shot music videos. Like if you got it within you to do this stuff all in house, I say go for it. I'm big on that, actually.
Yeah, no, I think nowadays it's kind of, that's a real.
It just makes sense.
Part of being able to build something is have somebody,
exactly,
that's kind of in house that you can rely on, because at the end of the day, and especially relying on self, because at the end of the day, everybody in the world could abandon you and you left by yourself. What can you do? And I was thinking about this the other day, because I've taken a lot back as far as being as involved. I used to produce and shit and like mix my own shit. I don't do none of that no more. So I was really thinking like, yo, if I was to be on a stranded island with a studio, how am I going to record? All I do is rap now. And I was like, damn, I got to get more involved with, the other sides of this, because I have access to it, but I just been so involved in, curating just the rhymes and the sound that I'm not as involved with the production and the engineering side that I used to be. So I was like, putting that equation in your head, like, what the fuck am I going to do if there's no one else there? Who's going to record me? Who's going to mix me? Who's going to, you know what I mean? If it's just me. So that's why being self-sufficient is the most important thing. Be able to move on your own, because, there's going to always be people willing to help you. Right. But you have to be able to help yourself first. No one wants to help someone that doesn't help themselves.
That's real shit.
That is real.
For real.
So Cody,
you know what I mean? If you're not helping yourself, don't nobody want to come to your aid. If you're already doing your own thing, somebody might say, hey, let me add to that. Let me contribute to that. But don't no one want to help someone that's just like, woe is me. No.
Yeah, that's real. No doubt. So Cody, you dropped a lot of shit over the past couple of years. Like, at what point is there a particular project that you've put out in the past couple of years that got you to the place that you wanted to be at, like creatively, not even money, like none of that, just like creatively, you're like, yeah, this is that shit.
Yeah, I mean, right off rip, when me and Purpose dropped the first joint, the Below Sumerian Skies, which I think was 2016 or 2017.
My notes say 2016.
I think it was 16.
Yeah, 2016. I think
it was like the end of 16. Yeah. When we dropped that, we've been working on that for years, and we dropped that, but like it was kind of a different time too. Like I was trying to get a sound polished. You know what I mean? I was still I felt like in my polishing stage. I was trying to understand my sound, and it took a couple years because I wasn't doing it consistently. And me and Perp, I really liked that project a lot, but there was there was a lot of shit that I felt like I could do better. You know what I mean? Just being a perfectionist. And then IX, the way that came about was just Cass and Motif hollered at me after they heard Below Sumerian Skies and wanted to work on a project. And they sent me some beats, and I didn't necessarily relate to them at first. And then he sent me a batch. And when he sent me a batch, it was pretty much everything you hear on the album in one batch. And I was just like, yo, what the fuck is this, bro? Like, I just took all of them, and I had the concept ready, and I wrote that whole shit in probably 4 or 5 days, and then recorded it in a night.
Damn.
So that whole album took about a week, and I had never done that. Figure the first album I did took fucking 4 years.
Right.
And then they sent me these joints. And it wasn't necessarily anything against the first album that I did. I love that album. I listened to that. I feel like that's still probably lyrically the strongest album I did, because I put so much time and effort into it.
Okay.
But as far as me just letting loose, the IX shit was just me finding myself. That was just me kind of finding, like the way that ST and Divino found themselves on Triple Black Diamonds.
Right.
IX was that for me.
Right.
That's what's up. Yo, man, how'd you link up with Vic Spencer on that, man? That's That's some distance between y'all. You know what I'm saying? What's the connection there?
Yeah. Shout out Vic Spencer. That's the homie. That's actually through Cass. Cass knows him. They've produced a lot for him.
Okay.
It was just kind of one of them situations where we were doing everything organic. There wasn't no preconceived notions going into recording an album.
Yeah.
Like, yo, we're gonna have such and such. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Nah. We just, when we heard the joint, it was like, he told me, I sent him the joint, which is one verse, and he was like, yo, I hear Vic on this. And I already knew Vic. I was aware of Vic at the time, and I fucked with Vic.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, send it to him, see if he fuck with it. And then I just got sent back a joint, and I was like, all right, word. So I hollered at Vic and thanked him, and he was like, yo, I'm fucking with it. I fuck with the album. So that shit was dope. You know what I mean? Because that was a good look.
Hell
what I mean? The verse is dope. Same with Ito. Like, Ito, the funny shit was, when he sent me the beat and I heard that, I told him straight up. I told Mo and I told Kaz, like, yo, that sound like an Ito beat. Like,
that was dope.
That shit, yo, he was, because I think that was around the time when he was working on the Vito and shit. And, or they had released the Vito and shit. So when I heard that beat, I was like, oh, that just sounded like some Ito shit. So hollered at Ito, got him on board, and, that was really it, because we weren't forcing nothing on that shit. And Nack, we had put Nack on the joint, because that just was, that shit was very Nackly.
Yo, Code. Let me backtrack right quick, going back to what you was talking about. Doing for yourself and people not wanting to help nobody that won't help themselves first. What type of energy do you guys put into like marketing and getting the name out there and keeping the name alive and stuff like that, as far as like promoting the records and marketing the records and things like that?
That's a great question.
Yeah, no, it is. To be honest with you, the approach is a lot different now than it was. So you got to understand, when Tragic Allies dropped their first project, it was probably like 06, 07. Shit was different.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of came up with the philosophy of having to do shit a certain way that was kind of outside of the internet shit. There was obviously, like, you had to promote certain ways, but like motherfuckers that were younger understood it better. So as we got older, we started seeing the way that these younger dudes was moving and being able to like really get the name out there. Even the SoundCloud rappers and that, I don't give a fuck what the shit is. You could do some dumb shit, but if you get fucking 500,000 views, I want to know how you did that. Mm-hmm. So there was different avenues, and once we noticed that there was different avenues, we started to approach it differently. Now, one of the things we say is that, the word you gonna hear me say a lot is organic.
Okay.
So we did all that shit where we hired publicists, we paid motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? We you know what I mean? We linked with publicists, we linked with writers, we got write-ups, you know what I mean? We did all that shit, trying to get the name out there, trying to get a look. And it never really worked. There was nothing beneficial about it. We was paying for, minimal shit. Like, you almost felt like motherfuckers was really like telling they boy, yo, pretend you a journalist so I can get this money. Like, it was almost like, damn, there's nobody listening to this shit.
Right.
So at a point, and again, Al Davino was a big part of that, being able to, because he was younger than all of us, being able to kind of, and I'm the youngest of the Tragic Allies. So he was the connect, the bridge that kind of was like, yo, nah, there's a whole different way. And once we tapped in and was like, okay, if we just know the niche, like the niche market, and we're able to tap in with that via social media, via just releasing shit and staying consistent, then it's just going to happen organic. And the funny shit was, we did music for 10 plus years, working hard at it with no avail. And then we just was like, yo, fuck this. We just going to drop shit and just be stupid. And then boom.
Took off.
People started listening.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I remember one night, me and Nack, we recorded some dumb shit and we just put it on SoundCloud. And like, maybe like a couple weeks later, it was like almost 10,000 views.
That's crazy.
And I was like, and we had nothing more than like 1,000 before that. You know what I mean? Like, some of the videos on YouTube had a lot of views, but like there wasn't a whole lot of momentum, especially consistently. Like, there would be a good look here and there, but we needed a lot more of just us doing us and just staying consistent and not worrying about that aspect. That just being able to come organically just by your work ethic. And that's kind of the approach we have now. It's like, we just going to make music. It's going to be dope. We're going to release it. We kind of know a better avenue to be able to release it. And we're going to touch more people that way in this work. All the effort that we put in, it wasn't in vain. I'm not going to say that at all. You know what I mean? Because
you learned a lot.
Built the fan base.
Yeah.
And it got us, it got us to where we at now. And there's still people like even Huss Kingpin and Smooth. They always say, every time we talk to them, it's like, yo, first time we heard y'all was MySpace way back in the day. Like, you know what I mean? Like they make sure to, y'all was really here way back. Yeah. And we just didn't, we didn't tap in until, everybody kind of tapped in, which it was good. It was a blessing. You know what I mean? We came in right at the right time. It was perfect.
Yeah. So when you guys reset, at what point did you realize it was starting to take off again? Like you were kind of like a reinvigoration, if you will, like that we've seen over the past 5 to 6 years. Was there a particular project? Like, was it Triple Black Diamonds, or was it like what was it?
I mean, I knew maybe even more than them. When I heard Triple Black Diamonds, that shit blew me away. When I heard that, just sitting in the lab one day, it was before they even released it because they had me on that. I wasn't on the actual album, but I was on the bonus cut.
Yeah.
And I was the only feature on that shit. So I heard the whole album. And when I was sitting there listening to it, this is pre-everything. You know what I'm saying? This is pretty much, unless you were a Tragic Allies fan, you didn't know about anything else we were doing up until this point.
Right.
And I remember hearing that shit. And I had been kind of on a little sabbatical. Like, I hadn't really been doing a lot. And I heard that shit, and I was like, yo, this shit is fucked. And it wasn't even like that. I took the bias out of it. It was like, dog, if I was just somebody on the street and he played this shit for me, I'd be blown the fuck away.
Right.
And that was a turning point, definitely. But I think a lot of it is just not even taking the time to sit back and really acknowledge what you've done or what you're doing. It's just keep going. You know what I mean? Like, you're not at a finish line yet.
Yeah,
you're not at a point where you can look back at accolades yet.
No
you're
doubt.
still in the mud.
No
you know
doubt.
What I mean? So
no doubt.
I think that's kind of the keep your head down, keep working mentality is what's keeping it actually with people tapping in more. Is more or less that we're not really, seeking that kind of acknowledgement. We're just gonna keep doing it,
right?
And hope people get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. So I mean, Nine, to catch us up, to now. Like, what's going on? Let's say the latest record out right now is the joint with Billy Loman, right? Sane No More. Like, why don't we catch the folks up with that? And then I want to talk about all these 10 or 11 joints you dropped in our inbox here before the interview started. So let's talk about the new joint that's out now.
Yeah, Billy Loman, he's obviously produced for Terminology, who's out here. And he already kind of had a rapport. And we had linked up. I don't even remember how we linked up, but he had sent me some joints for the Codex Lester project. And I think he had 3 joints on there. It was Salvatore Monday, Alarma, and I can't even remember the other one. But he ended up sending me a couple of them joints, and it made the project. And I was like, yo, these shits is like, these shits is dope. Like, let's work on something. So he ended up just sending me a batch of beats. And it took a long time because I had them and I was working on them since probably 2018. But then I went through some shit. I was dealing with some shit, so I kind of fell back a little bit. But it took a little bit longer. But once I finally finished it up, that was like the whole mentality was like, yo, we have to do this. Like, this shit, it made sense. You know what I mean? After hearing what we did on the Codex Lester, it made sense. Like, I gotta fuck with this dude. And the whole Sane No More shit was just, that's where I was at the time. I was like, yo, I ain't even gonna be sane ever again after this. Like, it was just crazy.
Damn, really?
It all culminated into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you took a good little break as far as projects go, right, Co?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't drop anything in 2019 except for that. That was the only project I dropped. Before that was the Outback Garden, which we dropped late November, I think, 2018.
Right. You were still pretty busy on the feature circuit, though, or at least it seemed like it was.
Yeah, your feature game is crazy, dude.
Yeah, I definitely stayed wavy on the features. You know what I mean? Like, I just wasn't really focused on working on anything for myself at that time. I was dealing with a lot of shit, but I made sure to get into the studio still because you always got to keep your blade sharp. You're never going to take that much time off.
Yeah.
And so I definitely got in the studio, made sure I was still banging out some features, still doing something, staying active, even through the bullshit. You know what I mean? That's the whole purpose of us doing this shit. So,
hey, yo, for anybody that might be curious, man, what's the turnaround time on the feature once that money hit your PayPal?
That's a good question, too.
Once that money hit your PayPal or your Cash App, what's the turnaround time on that shit?
Soon as shit, let me tell you like this: you send it to me, I fuck with it, then you can send a PayPal. Got to fuck with it first.
Okay.
That shit dope. You send it to me, then you can hit the PayPal. As soon as the PayPal hit, I'm right into it. I had that shit done in two days.
Ooh.
I'm at the studio in the crib, but I had that shit in 2 days.
2 days.
You pay me for it, that's 2 days. Let's go.
2-day turnaround.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Producers,
100%.
rappers, get your money up.
Everybody, holla at me.
All right, so what about these new joints, man? We got 2 joints that we're going to play on episode 238 that are worldwide, galaxy-wide exclusives. But you also sent me a bunch of other joints. Like, what are you in the lab working on right now that you can talk about, Code?
Yeah, I'm working on a little project right now, just with a couple different producers. I got Don Carrera on there. I got Carnate. I got Chronic Tone. Got a couple other people too, but I'm still finishing up some shit. But yeah, I'm working. I'm just trying to stay busy. You know what I mean? So this is something that I don't know. As I'm recording it, it's sounding real good. So it's gonna culminate to something real nice. Like I said, I'm just letting it be organic, just letting this shit kind of unfold how it unfolds, letting the universe take control with it. You know?
All right. So the 2 joints that we got that we're gonna rock on this week's show is Dominican Church Eucharist. Meek, speaking of album and song title game.
I'm listening.
And Anastasia.
Yeah. I'm listening.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. We go from religion to Disney movies. It's crazy.
No, that's actually the name of a mob family.
Okay. All right.
That's kind of the reference.
Okay. It's all gangster then.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, no, I mean, you figure like this, there's other things that capture you into the music, like we were talking about earlier with aesthetic. Like, the visuals got to be dope, the artwork, plus the titles got to reel you in. You want to know what the fuck somebody is talking about when they call something like that.
Yo, man.
You gotta be
I have read off some crazy fucking titles over the last 5 years.
Yeah, your crew's been responsible for a majority of them.
Yeah, man. So,
I'm sure.
But yo,
but that also has a lot to do with not giving a fuck. Just being like, we call it whatever we call it.
Yeah.
But you figure like this. Think about all the titles that the Boot Camp Clique had that was just crazy titles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And they just called it for whatever. And like now they're historic, like they're classics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like now those shits is classics. People don't even know how to pronounce it, but they're classics.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, that was fucking what was the Fab Five shit? The LaFleur as Koshka.
I don't even know what it was. Something LaFleur. That's the only shit I remember.
You know what? We tried to ask P about that, and he didn't even give us nothing on that. I was just like, man, what the fuck is LaFleur as Koshka? He just glazed right over that shit. Like we're not never explaining what the fuck that title meant. So yeah, I get where you going.
But that's what makes it so fire.
Yeah.
That's kind of the mentality,
Exactly.
Like just don't give a fuck, call it whatever.
Yeah, you're right about that. That's real. Hell yeah.
All right. So Code, you got anything you want to get off your chest before we wrap this thing up, man? Anything you want to talk about? If you just want to send people to, your Bandcamp page and where they can cop some shit, like
I want you to get some shit off your chest, man. It's a new year. Maybe you didn't get to say shit last year about what you were feeling, man. The floor is yours, man. Pop off right quick. What's happening?
Well, first off, I want to wish y'all a happy 5th. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all having me on here.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? That shit was a blessing.
Thank you.
Shit ain't really too much to pop off about. I'm in a good place right now. I'm in a real peaceful place. I'm here at the crib sipping a little something, smoking a little something.
Yeah.
I'm listening to some Larry June and some Currency, some elegant shit. So I'm in a good place. I don't even got to pop off. 2020 been good to me so far.
That's
only a
what's up.
couple days in, but
5
it's been
days
real good to me so far.
All right.
And we just gonna keep prospering. And I just wish health, wealth to all my family and all my people. And that's really all it is.
That's
what's 24/7, 365 always.
That's what's up. And where can the people go cop some shit and and fuck with you and PayPal you and Cash App you?
Yeah, just tap in. You know, it's Real Codenine on Instagram, Real Codenine on Twitter. You just tap in with Google. Google get you everywhere you got to get.
No doubt.
So you got to do Codenine, one word. And the first thing you're going to have to do, I got to keep fixing this shit. It's not codeine.
Right.
So
that happened to me
type
too.
it in, you have to specify, because fucking Google don't know the difference. It's going to tell you, are you sure you want to check for Codenine and not codeine? They think you typo. They think you a typo. And it's not.
Right.
Look for Codenine. So you got to specify. Because I notice I even have to do that when I'm looking for my own shit on YouTube. Right. I have to hit it, and then it brings up a bunch of lean rappers, and I'm like, oh, nah, this wasn't what I was looking for.
Right.
Yeah. But I got to specify, and then my shit come up. So motherfuckers got to do that.
Word.
Okay.
All right, and a Bandcamp joint, like the latest project, Sane No More, and like at least, 3 or 4 other projects, Tragic Allies, Codenine.bandcamp.com. You know,
That's correct. Yes,
yeah. So you can go there to get some shit, and you got some vinyl deals here and there with some of these releases too. If you can still find the shit, or I don't know, you probably on some $200-$300 shit on Discogs at this point now, right? Codenine with some of these vinyl releases.
Oh shit! I don't even know.
Because they're rare.
Check in on it, you know.
Yeah,
but I will say this: if you get the digital discography on Bandcamp, I know it's there's like a discount on there.
Okay,
like,
all right.
I think it's 20% off or something like that. And if you actually have to physically do that, but also I got all the physicals too, other than the vinyls. But I got all the physicals. So if anybody orders some shit, the turnaround time is quick. You know what I'm saying? You order it, I have that shit in the post office in like a day.
Dope.
Wait, hold on one second. I'm looking at the merch page right now, man. What is the $1 Million Mink limited edition Palomino package? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, that doesn't even exist no more. It was up there, but there is still the merch from that. No more T-shirts. We're out of the T-shirts. Okay, but there is still the whiskey case. We got a $1 Million Mink. I'm looking at my shit right now. It's on my mantle.
Okay.
You know, my mantle, I live in an apartment. My mantle is actually a radiator.
Okay.
But it's on that. But it looks fly though. It's the $1 Million Mink whiskey case. You know, it was just something random. Like, we just felt like the album was elegant. Me and Pinom, shout out my man Pinom. And yeah.
I'm looking at this.
Came up with some random shit.
Yeah, I'm looking at this shit right now. This shit is crazy, man. Crazy. I just now noticed this. All right, you on some shit, man.
Yeah, salute to you and your creativity, man. That shit is,
no doubt.
That shit goes a long way, yo. Don't ever stop creating, man.
Or when y'all coming down south, man?
I appreciate y'all.
We got to get you guys down south
Hopefully
for a show
soon,
or something, man. Like,
hopefully soon. I'm trying to. The most south I've been is Kentucky, and that shit was terrible.
Yeah. That's where I'm from. Why were you in Kentucky? Why were you in Kentucky, man? That's where I'm from.
I was actually in Kentucky, and no offense, but where it was fucking terrible. I'm pretty sure it was like Pineville, Kentucky.
Oh, Pikeville. You were in Pikeville. Pikeville?
Yeah, we was out there because it was my cousin's family. My cousin, you know, his mother, her family's from Kentucky.
Yes,
and they were actually born and raised out there. So we were out there. That was the only time I ever seen somebody keep a goat as a pet. Right. They had a fucking goat chained up that was sitting on the hood of somebody's car. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And that was right across the street from the very first. We went and visited the very first KFC. I was young.
Oh yeah, Corbin. Yeah.
We've been there. We've been up in there.
Yeah, all right.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
they had the little mausoleum for Colonel Sanders. His little outfitters in the glass and shit.
Man.
I was super young though. I was dumb young. Like, I was probably like 10, 11 years old. But that shit was funny as fuck. We get out the car going in there. I seen fucking goat on a leash. I never seen that in my life, bro. I was like, I know we are not nowhere near Lynn, Mass. There's no bodegas out here, bro. There's no bodegas, I swear.
Oh, hell no. There's hollers.
I don't even know. Exactly. I don't even know what that is.
Exactly. You don't want to. You don't need to know.
That's in the sticks. You don't want to be in the holler.
You were in Eastern Kentucky. You were in absolutely the poorest region of the entire state. Like, if there was ever a place in the United States code that was a third world country, Eastern Kentucky is damn near close to it. You were literally like literally in the fucking bowels of hell.
That's crazy.
Likely,
I know, and that's where my cousin's grandparents were from. So we were out there for like a whole week. And then the best part is the way we were actually, I guess, rewarded for the trip. On the way back, we stopped in Baltimore, and that was magnificent. Shout out Baltimore. I got a lot of homies out there, but that shit was, you know, you take one wrong turn, that shit, the wire is real. I was out there like, I was young. You gotta understand, that shit was like something that stuck with me. I was like, God damn, we in the fucking hood.
Yeah,
and I thought I already knew what the hood was, but I was like, nah, this shit is
this shit is hood. That's what's up.
Coming from Kentucky and then going to Baltimore, I was like, bro,
that's a culture. That's a culture shock like a motherfucker.
Word, the homie DJ Pocket.
I basically did half the Chitlin circuit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what is going on down here, bro?
That's crazy.
Right, we got to get you to Atlanta, bro.
Yeah,
we got to get you and the team down here, man. Do a show or something.
Yeah,
I don't know how, but we got to make that shit happen.
That shit would be major, too. We going to work it out.
Nah, I want to. That shit definitely has to happen 110%. That shit got to happen soon, too.
Word. All right, Code. Well, thank you, man.
We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thank you, brother. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
Yes, sir. All right. We'll be in touch, my man. Enjoy your evening.
No doubt. Peace to y'all.
All right.
Y'all too.
All right. Peace.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I gotta love it.
There we go, man.
See what happens? You never know. Even up to the very end, you never know what's going to happen on Southern Vangard Radio.
Oh, we're going to talk to you. We're going to talk to you. It's going to be thorough.
He said it's the first time he's ever seen somebody that had a goat as a
What's
pet.
the chance of knowing that he went to Kentucky and Baltimore and we got Pocket in here?
Dude, see, this is that shit we keep telling y'all about.
Yeah, man.
Smithsonian grade.
It's special.
All right?
No doubt.
Doe Meeks.
Yeah.
5 years. DJ Pocket in the house.
No doubt. We do this for real. We are the guard.
Yeah, we are
Southern
the guard.
Vangard Radio. Let's go.
Peace.
Peace, y'all.